All right, so we're at the painting stage. You're going to need white paint, black paint. This, if you use this fuchsia felt, it's Ceramicoat fuchsia, and then this full art multi-surface satin. I like the satin. This is in lime green because it sits on top of the felt, and this folk art is a little bit thicker, so it also sticks on the felt. So that's just why I picked these. It really worked better. The green really came out. You can see the green really came out pronounced. I want to make another purple set and redo it with these, but it came out so good. It's just a little bit thicker of a paint. So anyway, so basically what I did was I sketched first, and then of course it disappears, but you kind of like then will know where you're going with it. So I freehand sketched it. I made one going one way, and then I made one going another way. So you kind of like sketch it where you want that like stitching line. And then when I did it, I did the ways that I wanted my stitches to go, just so they're not like the same. So that's all I did. The last time I did it, for this one, I actually used a marker so you could still see it. And then I just went over the top of the marker with the black paint. But for this, I'm going to show you actually how I did it. And then you do however you want because it's going to be black anyway. So I like to use these. I don't know what these are called. Where are these? You get a whole pack of these, I think, from Hobby Lobby, or Walmart has this one, which these are my favorite, but I left the other one in water last night, so I can't use it. So I use a piece of parchment paper, and I put some paint down. It doesn't really matter where it is. The black dries really, really fast. But I love, this is such a cool project. It comes together really fast. It was perfect. Okay. So I'm going to use my bigger. You get like a lot of them in this one. I don't know what this is. I wish I could remember. I think they're stippling brushes or something, or stencil. I think they're stencil brushes. So you're going to take the green, kind of put it into your brush, and then tap it back out, and then you can tap it on a thing, but you really want almost all the pigment. So I forget my camera's the correct way. So see how much that pigment goes on? I love it. I don't recommend fabric paint, just saying, only because it takes forever to dry, and this takes like no time at all to dry. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Maybe I'll spin it so you can see it. You just want to kind of like go down. I have to paint towards myself, so we'll try it this way. I just want to cover that pink, come up a little bit. And then we're going to go in with the black. I'm going to use this one. And then the black, pretty black, so. So see how you lose the, so when I use the marker, it actually worked out better. So I'm going to flip it, so I can kind of fade it up, less black on my thing. And then I'm going to go back over it with the green right on top, so it fades out that line. Yeah, it'll get a little black on it, but I'm actually done with it after this point, so I'm not worried about it. You just want to soften those lines so they're not so harsh. That's all. So it's good enough for me. I'm going to keep the black one. I'll put the other one away. So what do you do next? Next, I'm going to go around with this pink color and I'm going to shade the edges. So you want to use a kind of smaller brush, and I'm going to shade where I'm going to put my wire for my stem, so that way it's a little bit darker so you see the indentation, and then I'll go over it with some black. So I'm just going to darken the edges, shadow it of my project, of my cherry. This is a perfect color for that darkening. And then we're going to just set that aside. So next color I did was a little bit of white for the shadow effect of this, the line. So I'm going to just eyeball it, unfortunately, because I don't know. So it's going to go probably like this. And I want the white underneath the black line that I'm going to put on. It all comes together. It looks like crap for the longest time, but you'll get it. And then you want just a little bit of white underneath those stitches. So there we go, shadowing. What else did I do? So the other part I did was I made a white-ish kind of highlight going here. So you're going to take your white on another one of these brushes. So it's handy for this project to have a whole bunch of these. I really like them. So you're going to take probably most of it off, and then you're just going to kind of pounce it on there. So it just looks like it's just creating a shadow. And that's literally it. It all comes together after it's all painted. It'll look great. So what I do next is I put more of this green, and then I take a flat brush. I used this one last night, but it is literally trash. It kept falling apart. It was fraying. So we'll go in with this one. It's a nice flat one. And you want to get a decent amount of paint. And then what you're going to do is just draw your stitch. And I love this color and this paint because look at how like thick it is. It's so beautiful. So you're going to put it right in the middle of that white. So see how you just get that shadow around it, which looks really cool. And on the purple, I did every color I used, but not on this one. I thought this one was just perfect with just the green. I'll do a little bit of shadowing with white again, but that's, I mean, you put a little pressure and look at them. They look adorable. So they're pretty like intense. When I did the purple ones, I had to like really go over it and go over it and go over it. So this is really just one decent chunk down. You can use puff paint. I didn't want that dimensional for it. I wanted to be all shadow today. So I'm just going to rinse my brush off because I'm limited with what I brought in here. I'm going to take a little bit of the black, again, real thin, and I'm going to start making my stitch lines. That like cut line right in the middle of the white. So kind of over your pencil line if you can still see it, or if you drew it on with the black marker, that's fine too. Put a little too much right there, but that's okay. So then I'm going to go back through with the white. Let's see. I'm going to switch to this brush. This is a shader. I like these ones from Michaels. They're relatively inexpensive, so you get that. And I'm just going to shade a little bit of white for like an accent detail. You can add pink, you can add whatever, you know, floats your boat. See how it just pops a little bit for visualization? So it's like, oh, look at that. See, then you can add like a white ribbon, you can add whatever you want. And there's that. So I'm going to set this aside and let it dry for a few minutes. And while we do that, we're going to make the stem and the petal.